Hello and welcome to Crypto Invest TV. Today I will be discussing the altcoin boom and where we will be going moving forward. Please note that I am not a financial advisor, so I do not influence any of your own decisions when it comes to investing. We are just here to bring you our personal thoughts through what we think is going to be a crypto future. Um, in the event that we get our information inaccurate, we would appreciate if you would let us know so that way we can try to keep our information as accurate as possible for our community and for anyone that joins the community. With that being said, I just want to go ahead and start going over what's been happening today, which is we've been seeing a rise in the crypto market. Uh, I wouldn't say across the board, but we've seen substantial flow for certain cryptos, um, substantial gains. As we can see, Bitcoin is at 59,000. That's nothing new to us. We've been seeing that happening for days now. It's been bouncing back and forth, for quite some time when it comes to the 59,000 over the course of last month and this month. I don't think it hit it over here, but you know, between last month going into this month, we've been seeing it hit, those numbers rather frequently. So that's no surprise. The real thing is things like Ethereum and Filecoin, Uniswap, IOTA, BAT, Cardano, uh, XRP or Ripple, Stellar, uh, um, Doge, Digicoin. Those are the things that have really been moving here today. About 2 o'clock in the morning, we started to see a real push for a lot of these cryptos. Um, I know that I think it was Stellar Lumens was the one at about 2 o'clock this morning, I think it was. I think it was 2 o'clock this morning. Somewhere in there. Um, we had hit, yeah, here it is, sorry. Um, about 2 o'clock in the morning is where we started to see, you know, the movement back up, from it going down, and then it started to climb, and then since then, that's when we really just started to see that difference, and then it's just been going up since then. Um, I do want people to understand that things like basic attention token, IOTA, um, Filecoin, Ethereum, Ripple. Um, do your research on those before you really try and jump into them, because it's not that there's anything wrong with any of these cryptos. It's just you know learn about the crypto before it is that you go and jump in, just like you should do with any crypto, just for the simple fact that just because you see a price moving doesn't mean that you should buy into it. um, we're just starting to see a lot more use in the cryptos, and so the ones that are having a lot of public view right now are the ones that we're starting to see a lot of the difference with, right? So like with Dogecoin, Ripple, um, Ethereum, even Bitcoin, Cardano or Cardano, however you prefer to say it. People have been really blowing up about it over the past few months. Really, since the beginning of the year, we've been seeing more and more uh, crypto trending in and around our environments, and so that's why we're starting to see what's happening now is you're seeing these increases primarily due to people as people are becoming subject to seeing this more often, they're beginning to understand it, and so more and more people are getting involved. So as all these are climbing up, before you just jump in, realize that these things do have to consolidate. So, you know, preferably, right, we would prefer if we could see, maybe things lose a maximum, like the ones that have really gained a lot, right? The ones that have gained like 43%, 20%, um, you know, those are the ones that we really we if they drop down 5%, it's no big deal if that's where it's going to consolidate at, right? And so with that, what we want it to do is kind of just start to level out for a while, so that way it can then start to go again, because that's what's going to happen here over time. Is throughout this year, we're going to see all cryptos across the board uh that are in, say, like the top 100, right? We're going to be seeing them across the board steadily increase. So things like Bitcoin, things like Ethereum, Filecoin, Uniswap. When it comes to those type of things, we're going to see those increase over over this year and then the coming year. So if you think that $30 is a high price, or 177 or 59, 2000, if you think that any of these prices that they're at right now are at a high price, you're going to be thinking otherwise at the end of the year. For a lot of them, I'm not going to say that some of these won't potentially end up faltering or just kind of starting to go, sideways, right? So that that might end up happening with some of them. But what I am saying is that if you think the prices that they're at right now are high, there's a high potentiality that by the end of the year they're gonna be at even higher prices, right? So if you think that it's too expensive to get into Bitcoin right now, or it's too expensive to get into Ethereum right now, just watch the trends on it, and you'll see where it's going to be going up and where it's going to be going down, and find a good spot to buy in for yourself, what you're comfortable with, and then you really are just gonna have to leave it alone. You're gonna have high days, you're gonna have low days, um, until it has its next breakout, and so that's what you have to hold on to. So when it comes to any of these cryptos, they're gonna level out here. Say next week, right? Next week they might start to level out. I mean, I could be wrong. They could just keep breaking out, and I mean that would be fantastic for everyone getting in and everybody that's already in. But most likely, things are going to calm down. We're going to see a drop across the board for a lot of them. Nothing. It's not going to be like significant drops across the board, but we will see that drop. Um, you know, for the most part. Um, Other than that, what I would really be focusing on right now is trying to catch the dips, and and then going from there. As for XRP, um, we've been seeing a lot of change with that here as of late. I mean, earlier on in the day, I mean, we were looking at what, somewhere in the region of 65 to 70 cents, and then boom, it just started climbing. Right now we're at almost $1. Would you have believed, let's say 2 months ago, that Ripple would be at $1? No, you wouldn't have. At least a lot of people, the people that don't believe, right? And so now you can see that you know we're gonna see a lot of these cryptos that people are involved with begin to really see the differences in what crypto can do. And as this expands, and hedge funds, or not hedge funds, but yeah um as they start to get assurances for cryptos, and they start really integrating themselves into the space, then that's when you'll actually see the real breakouts, right? Those are the times that we're going to see the real breakouts. We're not going to see anything right now that's monumental. Like, you think that this is big right now, you wait for 10 years down the road. 10 years down the road from now, that's what's going to be monumental. When you sit there and you look back and you're like, wow, XRP is at $15, and Bitcoin's at like 150,000, Ethereum's at 10,000, and these are all just examples. I'm not saying these are going to be realities. I'm just saying that, like, down the road you're going to be looking at it, and a lot of these are going to have really have come out and shown what they can do. I think ones to really pay attention to are going to be ones like BAT and Stellar and Cardano, and then of course the Doge. I think those are the ones that we're going to want to focus on the most. When it comes to Stellar Lumens or XLM, um, you know they've been here for a while. It's not like they're somebody that's necessarily new. And you can see just where they've came from. I mean, we look at you see where they were come 2020 in the end of November, and they went from being at under a dime to as high as 22 cents, we'll say, right? And then they consolidated themselves all the way back down to 12 cents, right? Because you got to remember, like, this is where they were at the beginning of the year, right? They were at 2 cents. So when you consider what they were, I mean, because this isn't like a stock, right? It's not like they just come out and they're just like, all right, we're here and this is what we make, because it's not necessarily like that, right? Because crypto is different from stock, so you can't expect, oh well, because they're not being like, all right, well, here's our profits and everything like that, right? Because they're not technically a company in the same kind of sense. And so it has to consolidate itself just like a stock does, but it's not a stock. And so once it gets to a place where people are starting to average out their buying and their selling, and then there's some people that were right here, right? They were in this area, but they didn't buy yet, and they waited it out, and then they saw, right, this is like as low as it got, and that was a number that was really comfortable for people, and that's why we ended up getting up into these numbers. And then we consolidated, and then we came back up. And so um, February of this year, they went up to like the top of 60 cents, and then here it is. Look, they consolidated. And so now what we're going to see is we're probably going to see a little bit more side action, but I would say maybe over the next couple of days, or not over the next couple of days, but over the next, few months, we'll end up seeing it increase itself even farther, right? We'll see it go up even more over time as these things get more screen time, and more people talk about them, more people begin to understand it. Um, you know, um, what makes what's happened right here when it comes to Ripple is I think this is was unnatural growth, right? That's what I think, is that there was a lot more unnatural growth in this area. Like it shot up, and then when it started to come back down, because this is a point where a lot of people were doing streams and stuff for XRP, and so I think, you know, some people ended up getting taken advantage of, and that's why we saw it plummet all the way down. Sorry, that's why we saw it plummet all the way down to you know, down to where it was at, and then it came back up, and then people started streaming about it again. But this time it wasn't it was people, there was more people trying to explain it than there was just saying like buy 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 buy, and then everyone was just like, oh no, the price is plummeting, and then everyone freaks out and started selling as well. And that's why I say I feel like this was possibly something that was unnatural. Like it could have been something good for it, but I feel like there was more of an unnatural aspect to it, and that's why we saw the drop in comparison to where it was. Um, and the reason why I say that that's not happening right now is because over in this area, what we're seeing is this is after its exposure, right? This is after all the exposure from here, all the exposure from here, and that's what we're seeing over here is as more people get in, and more people begin to understand it, and more people are comfortable with it, that's why we're beginning to see those things. So this is going to consolidate, but I feel like we're not going to see it go down like this, because this wasn't a consolidation, more so than this was just like a big pump and then a big dump, right, over the course of time. Um, and like I said, that's more of just like a personal feeling towards it. I'm not going to say that that's exactly what it was, because it could have, this part could have been organic and then this part wasn't, right? And that's what I'm trying to say, is that something happened here that made this happen, and it's not the same as what's going to be going on forward. So this is going to come back down, and I would expect to see it probably come down to maybe like the 68 cents, the 78 cent range again. Um, just that's how I feel. I feel we're going to see it come somewhere in here, right? This is where it's going to end up bouncing back and forth, uh, you know, over over the next couple of days after the breakout, and then after maybe next week or the week after that, when things have started to calm down, then I think we're going to see things start to pick back up again, right? Because everything will start to have leveled out, and all the people that were being paper hands will be filtered out more so than what was there before, and then more proper investors and people that actually have stronger beliefs for the coin will be in place, and then that's when you'll see it have more organic growth. Other than that, folks, I think I don't really have much to say. So you guys have a good one, and I'll see y'all on the next one.